break, we ask what material makes up a rattlesnake's rattle? Is it old fangs, bone, or keratin? Well, we're here with Jeffco Ranger Marianne Bonnell. Mary, give us the answer.
I'd be happy to. It's keratin. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically what your fingernails are made out of.
Absolutely. Isn't that interesting?
It's
I never
pretty
knew
cool.
that. All right. Well, with all of these sunny, dry days, we're not the only creatures that can be found along the hiking trails. Rattlesnakes love these conditions, and it's important that we all know what to do when we do encounter one, two, or more. Again, my high school friend and our favorite Jeffco Ranger of all time, Marianne Bonnell, is here with
you so much.
You're very welcome. All right, so rattlesnakes, they love to come out into the open. What brings them to the open space?
Well, right now, with these hot temperatures, during the middle of the day, they're going to actually be hidden away, rocks and under vegetation and stuff like that. But the other evening, we were mountain biking at South Table Mountain, and my colleague was in front of me, and he went right past this rabbit brush. We heard the rattle. He stopped, I stopped, and it was right next to the trail underneath this rabbit brush. So in the heat, they're going to be hiding, but in the cool mornings, then they'll be out on the trail trying to get warmed up, or on the road trying to get warmed up, or out on rocks trying to get warmed up.
Yeah, they do like that warm cement.
They do. They want that basking.
Yeah, when you're driving along on that trail, you can see them slip, you know,
exactly.
in the distance. Avoid the snakes.
Yes.
All right, so what should we do if we do see a snake?
Always a good idea to give a snake time and space to get away from you. So they're not really going to come after you if you see one, but the main thing is take a couple steps back, regather yourself, because some people are very startled.
Yeah.
Make sure your pet or your kids are nearby. Get those pet kid near you, and then take a couple more steps back, because if you sort of loom over the snake, it's not going to feel comfortable, and it may just decide to park right in the middle of the trail.
Okay.
So do try to give it plenty of time and space to get away from you, your dog, your kids, all of that.
Okay, well, I just have to say I'm really happy that you didn't bring a snake on today.
I'm not going to bring a
show and
snake
tell.
on, right?
Okay, it takes me a little while to get over that.
Right.
So how do we identify a rattlesnake? There are lots of different kinds of
Sure.
snakes, but a rattlesnake in particular.
Yeah, well, rattlesnakes, you don't want to get close, obviously, to identify a snake. So it's good to have distance tips. One for rattlesnakes is obvious, the rattle. The sound can be deceiving. There are insects that can sound like that. So if you can visibly see the rattle, that's good. At the base of the rattle, there's usually a dark black band. So you can kind of see in this photo of a juvenile rattlesnake, they still have that black band. And then the adults will have white stripes on their face. So kind of, you can see in this photo here, above the eye, there's a white stripe, and below the eye that goes down toward the jawline. Surprisingly, those are visible. Those stripes are visible from even 20 feet away.
Wow.
And that's a really safe way to identify a rattlesnake. Some people bring up the pupil. I'm like, if you're looking at its pupil, you're too close.
All right. Now, how often are people bit by rattlesnakes?
We've had, this year we've had 2 visitors bitten by rattlesnakes. That's about what we, in our visitation, which we estimate we have about 7 million visitors a year. So 2 to 3, you know, a year. This person that you're seeing here was bitten last year at North Table Mountain.
Oh my goodness.
And the story is often the same. This person was walking along, waving at her husband up above, and not really watching where she was stepping, and just stepped right on the rattlesnake.
Ooh.
And it bit her right on the inside of her ankle. The one we had most recently at Mount Galbraith on 4th of July weekend, same thing. The visitor stepped right over it, didn't really see it in the trail, and it bit her right on the inside of the ankle.
Of course, camouflage, very easy to just miss that altogether. So if you're bitten in a remote area, what's one of the first things you can do?
So really important with venom is to remain calm, which sounds contrary, right? So you want to remain calm, because that venom, if you start running around and freaking out, you're moving that venom through your body, and you're going to increase the chances of damage. If you have cell service, call 911 and just articulate exactly where you are and wait for help to come to you. Don't be running around trying to get to help. Articulate where you are and wait for help to come to you. If you're in a remote area and you don't have cell service and you're by yourself, you're going to want to calmly try to walk yourself out. And then when you can get to help, make that call. You do need to be transported. That's preferred if you try to drive. One of the things that can happen is you can go into shock, and you don't want to go into shock behind the wheel. So it's very important to try to get transported. So if you can get to where you can do that cell phone call, tell them where you are, and then just sit down, not on a snake, and wait for help to come to you. It's really important
anywhere
advice.
near a snake. Now, some snakes are hidden. Some snakes, you were showing that picture of the 2 snakes, and you said it was a combat dance.
It's a combat dance.
So sometimes they're doing their own thing, but if you startle them, they'll startle you. And
right. Well, those 2 males, what's interesting is males spend the summer in pursuit of a receptive female. That may sound familiar. And when they get to a receptive female, if 2 get to the same female, they duke it out by that dance. So they push each other's heads down, and whoever does the best job is the dominant male, and he gets to mate.
Oh,
so that visitor got to witness that really amazing rattlesnake behavior, and happened to snap a photo of it and report it to us. It was so cool.
No
so there was no
kidding.
real danger to that visitor. They had plenty of distance. Those males were completely self-absorbed in who gets to mate with her. Not at all interested in this visitor. Not at all.
Fascinating information. All of this, and there's so much more we can learn.
Yes.
Where do we learn more about rattlesnakes?
There's a great blog from our researchers at North Table Mountain Adaptation Environmental. If you just Google search Rattler Tattler, there's all kinds of photos and blogging and everything you wanted to know about the ecology and behavior of rattlesnakes. And we hope you do more research, because it's really great when visitors inform themselves, so you can turn fear into respect.
Absolutely. There's a lot of summer left and a lot of time left on the trails.
Yes,
So
we see rattlesnakes through November.
okay.
Yeah.
Good information.
Yeah.
Thank you as
Thank
always.
you so much for the great questions.
Of course. Now, for more information, wildlife updates, and visitor tips, go to jeffco.us/open-space. Be safe and plan your next outdoor adventure with the help of Jeffco County Open Space.